tips for your big comeback this mid-season, you guys. Welcome aboard. Let's see. First of all, if you guys are, I want to let you guys know, anyone that's watching the replay, this is going to help you as well. So even if you're not here live, I got a lot of stuff to help you guys out, a bunch. Mainly with this, I'm going to be answering a lot of questions, a lot of golden nuggets I'm sure you guys are going to get out of this, whether you're in the middle of a season, playing for the team, or if you're not playing for a team. Just ways to help you improve your game. I'm sure you guys are going to get a lot out of this. Before we get into the details as far as everything, though, when I start answering some questions, the first thing I want to let you guys know is that this weekend I got 2 sick videos coming. First of all, something called the Ghost Cross, plus some crazy counter moves coming for that tomorrow. And then on top of that, I've got Sunday morning 5 crossover drills you guys have never ever done before. These are brand new ones that will take your crossover next level fast. Both these, though, will just help you improve your handle in general. So getting that move down in the counters, and then the drills are going to take you next level. For some reason, the chat's showing up sideways for me. Let me see what we got going on here. All right, so I don't know, it's not working right, but what do we got here for questions? I'm in school team about to play. Hold on one sec, guys. Let me fix this here quick. Oh, I guess it's not going to work out for me. All right. So how to shoot higher layups. That's a great question. So that, you guys, is something that you have to, first of all, you got to put practice in, right? One of the tips I want to give you for it, though, is whenever you can, use the glass, right? The backboard's there for you, so whenever you can use it, take advantage of that, and always try to hit it with a soft touch. That's one thing I see with, like, when you start throwing the layups for the higher glass and try to hit higher on the backboard, players will miss those long a lot because they put the same amount of force as normal, and then the ball trajectory comes way too far. So you got to add a little bit more finesse to it. Try to get a softer touch on it. What else we got here, you guys? How to drive into defense. Are you guys enjoying watching me do this to answer the questions? This is messed up. Anyways, how to drive into the defense. That's a really vague question, man. First of all, you got to work on your moves, though, to get past your defender, right? And then you want to work on a counter move from there because there's going to be that next line of defense. Now, that could be a second dribble move that you're going to do after that. So you can work on combo moves, combo dribbles. Or, depending on where you are on the court, that could be like a Euro step or a floater, right? Figuring out how to get past that next line of defense or get your shot off. Step back's another good option, right? So it's just a matter of comboing these different things together, whether it's 2 dribble moves, maybe 3 dribble moves, or a dribble move and taking that into, some different type of finishing move, or, jump shot. So that's what I got for you on that one. You're welcome for answering ZYZ. What else we got for questions, guys? How to have a bounce back game. Great question. First of all, you got to get your mind right. I've been there. You have an off game, and that stays on your mind for a day or two, sometimes longer, right? And that'll mess with you, and that can affect your next game, right? The longer you let yourself think about it, the longer it's going to affect your next game, right? And the more it's going to affect your next game. So what you have to do is go into it with the mentality like all the best athletes do. They forget about it, right? They learn from the mistakes, say, okay, this is what I need to fix. I'm going to do that. Next game I'm looking forward to because I want to try these new tweaks I made. Maybe your shot was off and you were always missing long. So now okay, hey, I got to work on just putting a little bit more touch on my shot, making it a little softer, right? Or maybe you were trying to force the drive too much, right? And there was too many defenders there and you just kept trying to force the issue. And you're like, next game I'm going to pass a little more, mix it up. So now that opens up the lane, right? So thinking about what caused the problems, coming up with a strategy based on that, and then looking forward to the next game to try that strategy versus looking at your last game and like, oh, this is all the things I messed up, right? Instead, if you have the next game to look forward to with all these new things you're going to try, you're going to go into it with a much fresher, set of eyes, but much better attitude about it, and you're going to be a lot more positive, right? And just having that positivity will help you play a lot better, okay? Drills to eventually make a dunk. Great question. I don't do a lot of vertical jump stuff on my channel, mainly just because I can't jump like I used to because I'm starting to get a little older. I just turned 37, guys, and I'm very injury prone. But some key tips I want to give you is get in the weight room, right? Squats, deadlifts, lunges, things like that are great. Bulgarian split squats. And then you want to work on the power side of things, which would be like plyometrics, box jumps can help. And you want to make sure there's enough rest in between. Anytime you're trying to work on power and explosion and improving that vertical or your first step, things like that. You want to focus on getting that kind of a power work in. But so basically what that means is you need more rest. You need to have that quick burst. It's not like your typical conditioning type workout where you just, run for a mile and at the same speed or 3 miles at the same speed. You want to have it quick burst, rest. Quick bursts, rest, right? So short sets, short reps, work on your strength side of things, work on your speed side of things. Bringing those together is what power is. Also, don't overlook some of the overlooked things as far as vertical jump goes. A lot of people don't like to think about your jump technique as far as getting your steps right, your body positioning. And then also, on the training side of things, there's 2 overlooked things. Your balance. I found for me personally, working my balance made like jumping high just feel a lot more effortless, and doing like different yoga poses and stuff where you're standing on one leg, that really helped me a lot because it works on all those little muscles in your legs, your core, everything, and it helps you direct your force more upward more easily. And also, what was the other thing? I have one more thing in mind that I forgot. I'll come back to it. What else we got? How to crossover. Man, I got like a million videos on my channel. Check that out. How to stay calm under pressure. Great question. I just did. I don't know if you guys caught it on the community tab or if you're on my email list. I asked a bunch of you guys what your questions are, and I'm going to do some on-court answers. I just filmed a video on that about how to not get nervous and stay calm under pressure. So that will be coming hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks. We'll see how everything shakes out. I filmed a ton of videos the other day. But one of the big things I can tell you is just take deep breaths and relax. Try not to stress out so much about the game. Realize it's just a game, right? Now, if you're the kind of player that you go into the game like not intense enough and too sluggish, then that advice isn't good. But if you're the kind of player that comes into it nervous and just, jittery and shaking and all that, you just need to calm down. Realize it's just a game. Play some relaxing music maybe. Take deep breaths and just chill out. You'll be good to go. That's one of the biggest things I can tell you is realize, hey, it's just a game. Let's go out there and have fun and approach it like you're just playing pickup basketball with your friends. Obviously, you want to play within your coach's system and not, act funky and goofy in the way you're playing the actual game. But like mentally approach it like, oh, it's just, just playing with my friends, right? And you'll find that I think if you do that, the pressure will just go way down. So, that's the only advice I can really give you, and just try as much as you can. Try to ignore the crowd, right? That's one of the things I think gets a lot of players nervous is, they see the pressure because all these people are at the game there to watch it, right? And that's all they think about. Just focus on the game. Focus on what you need to do. Focus on where the ball is on defense, right? Focus on what you need to be doing on the offense side of things, whether it's running the play or when you got the basketball, finding the open teammate, all that. Focus on the game. Keep locked in on that. Don't worry about what anybody's thinking. Just worry about what you got to do. That's one of the biggest things I can give you. How to get range. I got a video on that, actually. Search my channel for how to get unlimited range. But besides that, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, you can get stronger, right? That'll help. And you can, work on that side of things and work on, your power and vertical jump, stuff like that will definitely help with your range. But one of the easiest and quickest ways to do it is just to make some little tweaks to your form. Couple things you want to look at is making sure you're getting flexion in your muscles, right? So like your wrist, bend it back, bend your elbow, bend your knees, bend your hips, make sure there's a bend in your ankles, right? The more all those things are bending a little bit, the more power you can get on your shot. And then also working on that timing. If you can get more of a one motion shot, it'll be a lot more effortless and easy to get more range on your shot. And just working on the timing of your release so it's happening when you're on the way up will make it easier to get more power on your shot. So just some little tweaks like that can make some instant improvements in your range. But also, again, the weight room side of things, vertical jump, things like that, that'll help a ton as well. How to be a better shooting guard. That's a really vague question. The more specific you guys can be for me, the more I can help you. How to be a better shooting guard. Get good at your ball handling. Get good at your shooting. Get good at finishing around the rim. And, even though you're not the point guard, you should still be a pretty good passer. If you're always looking to drive and you don't have a very good passing ability, that's going to start to make you predictable. And after the while, the defense is all just going to swarm on you, right? So just by passing the teammates from time to time, that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for you because if they'll find out, if they double team you too much, like if you watch Giannis Antetokounmpo, he does a good job of this. He passes enough, right? Same with James Harden, Chris Paul. The defense doesn't swarm on them so much because they know if they do, they're going to make them pay and hit the open teammate for easy shots. Same thing with LeBron James, right? All those guys are really good at throwing that nice balance in of passes and shooting. So that way, they open up everything, right? It makes the passes easier, makes the layups easier, it makes driving easier, makes shooting easier. They don't have as much pressure to worry about. So, how do I know when to drive, coach? Basically, there's two things you want to look at with that. That's a good question. That's an interesting question. You want to make sure you, first of all, are able to get past your guy, right? That's the first part. You can't really drive if you're not getting past your guy. So you got to make sure you have the spacing, that you're close enough to get past your defender. Usually I try to kind of almost like measure them and say, okay, can I get past them in one quick step? And if I can do that, then I know I'm good to go. So that, I'll just do a quick move maybe to shake them or just explode right past. Then from there, though, you worry about what's happening after that, right? What's the next line of defense happening, which I talked about a little bit earlier. But making sure that you're, having that open space is huge. Or knowing that you can beat the next line of defense. Either having that wide open gap behind your defender is a good key that you should be driving, or if there's just like maybe one guy back there, some big man that is like up too far away from the hoop, and you can blow by him and get an easy layup, or you can get that floater off because you got enough space. Reading those little things will also be another indicator. But if you got like the wide open lane behind your guy and you can beat him, that's how you know. If you got that next line of defense though, where you maybe you can beat that guy, or maybe even possibly two guys, then again, you know when to go. But it all comes down to knowing your skills, knowing the defense and what kind of skills they have and abilities, and reading the situation. So it takes a little while to process all that, and that's why I tell you guys a lot, like, the drills and stuff I give you are huge. They'll help you a ton. Working on the moves will help you a ton. But you guys got to get into games. That's how you start to learn these things, and these things start to happen quicker. The decisions happen quicker. You know how to make these reads and be like, oh yeah, I've been here in this situation. I know exactly what to do. Some of that you just can't learn from training on your own. Some of it you just got to get into games. What does your everyday workout look like? Could you ever make a vid on one? Probably won't make a video on one because honestly, my everyday workout changes a lot because of you guys. Back in the day, I had a lot more consistent thing that I would do, but now since I'm always working on new content for you guys, trying to break down moves, I'm trying to make sure I'm sharp on them, or a new drill. So my schedule is constantly changing as far as my workouts, which I think has its benefits, definitely, to keep expanding my skill set. Like, I always feel like, man, every year, like, I can do all kinds of new things that I haven't been able to come close to doing before, because I'm always working on new stuff for you guys. But at the same time, there's that level of consistency is important too, to get like those certain moves that you can count on. Like, I found like certain of my old school go-to moves, I'm a little rusty on them now because I don't do them as consistently. So that consistency is huge. But yeah, back to the point of the question, my workouts changed quite a bit. How to improve when you are injured in terms of your IQ and your mental game? Great question. So watch the game, right? And there's a couple. I actually got another YouTube video coming on this for the On-Court Answer series, but I'll get a little bit into it right here. And this will help you guys a lot for your season. This is something that you can make a big turnaround in your season, whether you're injured or not injured. Watch more NBA games. Now, you can watch the highlights on YouTube or whatever, and that can help, and you can learn a lot from that, but I highly recommend you watch full games and watch even the little plays that aren't the highlight reel plays, and pay attention, number one, to the entire court. What's happening, right? What is the whole offense doing? Just watch one team and say, okay, what are they doing on offense? What are they doing on defense? Why are they doing this? And trying to get a better understanding of that. But then on top of that, watch an individual player, right? Maybe like if you're watching the Rockets, watch Chris Paul, or if you're watching the Celtics, watch Kyrie Irving, and just notice the little things that he's doing on offense. Notice the little things he's doing on defense. Say, why did he make that decision? Why did he position the ball back here? Why did he use this certain footwork pattern, right? Try to get super detailed. And, maybe you don't know what to look for necessarily, but the more you watch my videos, you guys know how my tutorials and breakdowns are. Like, I get super detailed for you guys, so you can kind of start to understand what things to look for. Then when you go and watch the NBA games, you can start to kind of put two and two together and understand the game situations where things make sense. So that's one big thing you could do. And the other thing I would say is dig in more into like plays, right? And defensive schemes, things like that, especially like the ones that your team's using, right? That can make a big impact for you to say, okay, this is what my coach has us doing. This is what I really need to start understanding, right? Try to find resources on Google or YouTube or whatever, and really start to dig into the offense your coach has you guys running, and figuring out the little opportunities in that for you to score, to pass, or whatever the case may be. Understanding more about the defensive schemes and the things you can do there. All that stuff will help you a ton. And then once you start to feel like you've got that mastered, then you might want to dig into other offensive schemes and defensive schemes and plays and things like that, so you can understand what the opposing team's doing. And then you can really start to have some fun with things and say, okay, I'm 2 steps ahead because I know exactly how their offense works, right? You can get a big jump on them from that. And then actually one more quick tip, scouting the opposing team, right? Maybe there's a certain player you know is going to be guarding you, or just how the opposing team plays. Try to figure out any little things you can before the game, maybe in warm-ups, you know the guy that's going to be guarding you, or you're going to be guarding, and you're going to be guarding him. Like you say, okay, he doesn't have a left hand, he can't shoot. Well, now you know, okay, force him left, play him tight, right? Little things like that you can learn just from watching him in the warm-ups. So a lot of things you can get out of that. What else you guys got for me? A ton of chats coming in, and I'm trying to catch up with them. And then all of a sudden it goes blank. Here we go. Quick question. How do you know... Do you know Muhammad Abdul? No, I don't know Muhammad Abdul-Rauf. I know who he is. He was crazy. Career was way too short, man. He was crazy. He was kind of like Steph Curry before Steph Curry. Nice handle. Probably a little more hops. He was actually out. You guys might not know this. He was in a dunk contest and had some pretty decent hops and great shot. But yeah. How to dribble fast like Kyrie. I got like 4,000 videos on my YouTube channel about that. Just check out some of my videos. I shouldn't say 4,000. I think I literally got about 4 or 5, though, videos on my YouTube channel about how to dribble faster. Working on your pounding the dribble. Working on your ability to move the basketball quicker while it's in air is an overlooked element that I've been really trying to hammer home lately and focus on. A lot of things you can do. Heavy basketball helps. I like to use that a lot. All kinds of things you can do. Just improving your raw body speed by working on agility type drills with your hands. That can help a lot. A lot of different things you can do there. And then just working on combos, right? And getting them down sharp, crisp. The more you do a combo, the quicker you're naturally going to get with it, right? Or even a one dribble move, right? The more you rep it out, the more efficient your body gets with the movement pattern, and it starts to become a lot easier. What else we got, you guys? What should I do to get into the game sharper coming back from an injury? Great question. And actually, I didn't completely answer that last question about IQ and things like that, because he said he had an injury. Coming back from an injury is huge, right? It's tough. First of all, do what you can to prevent it, of course. But if you're in that situation, here's what you should do. Work on what you can work on, right? So you can definitely work on the mental and IQ side of things. That's obvious, right? Your mind should always be working, unless you, heaven forbid, you would have something really bad happen where you got like a concussion, which we don't ever want. But if you got like a broken wrist, like I've had that. I broke this wrist like twice and this one once. I don't remember which one was twice anymore. Tore my Achilles. I've been there. So what do? You work on the parts of your game that you can, right? So if I broke my wrist, I would still dribble with my other hand and work on my moves, right? When I broke my left hand, my right hand got so much better. Or when I tore my Achilles, I would sit down and dribble, right? I can't move my feet, but I could still dribble sitting down. I could still work on some form shooting. Or, when I had my left hand broken, and again, I'm a lefty in case you guys don't know why I'm talking about my left and my right, but I would work on my right hand layups. I would even work on some right hand jump shots and got a little bit of a jump shot down with my right hand when I broke my wrist. So work on what you can, right? In fact, I was just thinking about this. This is a big thing, not just for like injuries, but just basketball and life in general. Don't look at things as obstacles and things like that, or obligations, right? Like things that you have to do or things that are getting in your way. Look at them as opportunities, right? When I broke my left-hand wrist, I'm like, man, I'm going to get a beast mode right hand finally. My weak hand's going to get so much better. And guess what? It did. So always try to find the opportunity in the obstacles and in these obligations, right? Your coach is making you go to practice, and maybe you're really tired. You're like, man, I got to go to practice. Look at that as a chance for you to go take your game to that next level. Show the coach what you can do, right? Whatever the case may be, you might be looking at it in a bad way, but if you look at it as an opportunity, that's going to change, the whole perspective and what you can get out of that. One more question, guys, and then I'm going to probably get going. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. Weight training or body weight training? I actually answered a question for you, so I'm going to do one more after that. Great question. Both. I don't think you should pick one over the other. I think both have their place and are very important. Here's the reason. Squats. Here's a perfect example. If you're doing squats with weights, I wouldn't recommend going butt to your calves unless you're using super light weight. Okay, if you're going to use heavier weight, I would say get your knees to about 90 degrees and then go back up. But I feel like it's also, in fact, I wouldn't say I feel, it is important for you to work on getting that full range of motion squat where your butt gets all the way down to your ankles, right? full range of motion is huge. It'll make you more mobile, less injury prone, quicker in the games, all that. So doing a body weight squat without the weights allows you to do that safely, right? So having that mix is important. And that goes for a lot of your exercises in general. Plus, when you're doing body weight, you can apply more speed, right? You can still be working on some sort of strength elements, but bring more of that speed into the mix. One last question. How to increase your dribbling with your opposite hand. So I kind of just talked about this a little bit, but a couple tips I can give you is, and again, I've got a ton of YouTube videos on this, so search my channel after this. There's a bunch on my channel. But one thing you could do is put your hand in your pocket, right? That's one thing I would do all the time. I was a lefty, so I put my left hand in my pocket, dribble with my right hand. One big thing, work on some go-to moves and do them all the way to the basket, finishing with that weak hand, right? So, you know, a lot of players, like, they'll go into their layup lines, and that's the only practice they really get with their weak hand. And you know how the layup line is. You guys go through the layup, you know, and it's just like you're dribbling, and you kind of go up for a half-hearted layup, and then there's not much intensity. Do some moves, like a game-specific move with some intensity, with some speed, full force to the basket, and try to finish with some intensity, right? Work on maybe some more advanced finishes, things like that. That's one of the best things I can tell you guys to do, is just rep things like that out. And then just, you know, doing a bunch of drills where you're just getting a ton of repetitions in with your layups, with your dribbling, things like that. And then also, don't overlook the, you know, footwork side of things. That's one thing with me personally, like, I found kept me from having a great weekend forever. Like, I could dribble good with it. My control felt awesome. My layups felt great. I felt like I could dribble on the move just fine and wouldn't lose the ball or anything like that. But I couldn't push off into that direction nearly well enough, or my footwork wasn't crisp enough to sell the fake effectively to fake my defender this way and come back this way. So don't overlook the footwork side of things. That will help you a ton as well. If you guys want to work on more of that side of things, you know, the footwork, and also make sure you got your weekend, top link in the description down below. Free workout right there for you. That'll help you a ton with all that stuff. Just click that link, pop in your email, and I send that to you for free. And before I go, guys, last thing, again, make sure you stay tuned. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., the ghost cross, nasty move. It'll make your defender think you disappeared. They'll get them so nasty. Crazy counter moves and variations on that move also in that video. And on Sunday morning at, I believe, 8 a.m. Central Time. These are both Central Time, 4 p.m. Central tomorrow, and 8 a.m. Central on Sunday. 5 crossover drills. You guys have, I guarantee you've never done these before. They're kind of weird, but they're sick. You're going to love them. The instant you do them, I guarantee you'll feel a difference in your crossover, your handles in general, all that. And work on getting kind of that Kyrie type handle, having a quick, powerful handle, being able to drop low into positions, a whole bunch of other things. Doing 5 drills that you guys have never seen before. I know you guys are going to dig them, so stay tuned to that. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's been fun, and hopefully I'll get on here again soon. I'm trying to get back on here a little bit more now that my schedule is freeing up a little bit more the next couple weeks. So hopefully I will get on here one more time before Christmas, and thanks again, guys. Hopefully I've been able to help you guys out. I will talk to you soon.